Everything is shifting. Industries, technologies, people. The shift is already underway. From boardrooms to factory floors, from climate to code, from policy to people. And who's rewriting the playbook? Shift Happens is where the catalysts come to talk. A new podcast by Srinagesh and Tech for Earth. Real conversations with real insiders.
UK government is putting up almost 80 billion pounds worth of investments within the UK-India corridor. This will play out in a very important way.
That technology was brought out into India from UK. So there is understanding level which is great in India.
The help from UK, from technical expertise and the technology that they have has helped us as India company to grow bigger. When we started in 2013, we saw a lot of opportunities for UK companies to come into India.
So going with the electric and connected is a major trend where India is thriving.
Hello there. Welcome to the first episode of Shift Happens, partnered with Tech for Earth Mobility Foundation. What is Shift Happens? When we meet some people, you realize they made a shift. The shift is what we are bringing to the table for this discussion on the first episode of the UK-India Mobility Series. Shift happens when people show resilience, patience. In adversity, they take action to achieve their objectives. Today, we bring 4 such shift makers who have contributed extensively for the cause of India-UK mobility. I'm Srinagesh Mandala. I represent Shift Happens today. I'm also co-founder for Tech for Earth Mobility. Let's welcome our guest today, Mr. Avinish Malhotra, Head of Future Mobility Team, Department for Business and Trade, UK Government. Mr. Ulhas Joshi, MD, Otter Controls India. Mr. Vibhas Ambekar, MD, Helical Auto Tech India. Mr. Yogesh Umbarkar, co-founder Tech for Earth Mobility Foundation. Avinish.
Hello, I'm Avinish Malhotra, part of the Department for Business and Trade, Government of UK, and I head the team for future mobility, help UK companies land and expand operations in India but also succeed.
Hello, I am Vibhas Ambekar. I'm Managing Director for Helical Auto Technology India, working in India since 2007, and we are into manufacturing of precision automotive components, assemblies and press components.
Hello, I am Ulhas Joshi. I am a joint venture partner with Otter Controls UK and a Managing Director for Otter Controls India. We are a specialist company manufacturing specialty connectors, niche wiring harnesses, specialty components required for automotive industry and non-automotive industry, and we are established in 2013 in Pune.
Hello, I'm Yogesh Umbarkar, co-founder of Tech for Earth Mobility Foundation. Over the last 2.5 decades, I've been helping a lot of technology companies, specifically more time on the UK companies like Ricardo, e-tron, helping them to establish here in India, grow in India with their businesses, and then probably roll out their technologies, helping the Indian companies as well with their technologies. Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. Before we go deeper into the opportunities, I think it may be appropriate to put together some strengths about UK and India. Who wants to go first?
Thanks, Nagesh. I think UK is one of those geographies where the investment on developing new technologies is a lot. UK government is putting up almost 80 billion pounds worth of investments in developing new technologies, which is across the sector, but there is a special focus on automotive and wider manufacturing thanks to the new industrial policy, and we foresee that this will continue to drive the growth of the sector, not just for the UK but also supporting the wider value chains and supply chains across the globe. And I foresee that within the UK-India corridor, this will play out in a very important way, and not just the technologies, but with the recent signing of the UK-India Free Trade Agreement, I also foresee that you will be seeing more UK manufactured cars on the Indian roads.
Okay. Ulhas, do you want to complement that with something on India?
Yes, I must say, well, that is very right approach, and When we started in 2013, we saw a lot of opportunities for UK companies to come into India. Automotive sector was just about to grow big, and we see the opportunities coming in. Component manufacturing for automotive was a great necessity globally, and India offered technical expertise, good technical people available in Pune especially, and therefore we decided to set up manufacturing here. And what we see is, yes, it has turned out to be the right decision. We are definitely growing in automotive segment, working with many companies, some of the companies from England as well. So the help from UK, from technical expertise and the technology that they have, has helped us as India company to grow bigger and provide solution to globe. That's what we see as a good contribution.
Okay. Yogesh, you would like to say something about your dual perspective, both India and in UK?
Yeah, I think I vouch both of these gentlemen's voice. Definitely, I have an example where I've been helping like companies like Ricardo, e-tron, where they bring a lot of niche, very advanced technology, which is where India needs those technologies to scale and drive, not just for India, but export market as well. So I do see the UK brings a lot of innovative technologies or advanced technologies where India can complement that to scale and bring you even a manufacturing ecosystem to serve the Indian market, but also go global.
So Vibhas, what do you think your perspective of India opportunity from a UK perspective?
Yeah. Just to add what Ulhas was pointing out towards the technology front, I will share an example which has happened in Helical India case. Yeah. And the turbocharger uses the variable geometry kind of a turbocharger. The actuation for that kind of a turbocharger was not available there in India. It is 2009 and it was from Mahindra. And then that technology was brought into India from UK. And that's how we started with that XUV 500, where that vehicle has got the actuation from the Helical. That's one. The biggest comfort level for the UK people in India, what they find is, that is my own experience, is that the comfort of communication. The people who work in the industry, they are very well conversant with English. All the documents and the standards are in English, so it's a comfort level. So there is understanding level which is great in India. I think that is the biggest advantages what we have while working with the Helical UK.
Okay. Let's dive deeper into the opportunities, because I see from what I've heard, we could probably highlight areas of opportunity. One, in collaboration between UK and India. It could be opportunities related to supply chain, and it could be investment opportunities where Indian companies could be looking at UK as a potential destination. Is there a way where we can map these today? Can you start with Avinish?
All the three elements which you have highlighted are very pertinent. We have seen that, I'll take the last one first. We've seen a lot of Indian OEMs and supply chain companies looking UK as a base for evolving their technology and offering for the Indian industry, but B, also reskilling their own workforce on developing new technologies. UK has one of the best ecosystems across the world. We have organizations like Myra Horiba, which are a great location for developing new technologies. There is a Myra Technology Park as well. We have got Millbrook, another capable location where Indian companies have invested in the past for developing of these technologies. Apart from that, UK has been one of the pioneers as far as the automotive industry is concerned. If we peep back into the history, some of the very well-known brands have developed and found their base in the UK. Some of the companies which we are no longer based out of the UK but still have some of those brands going, they all have a legacy where the UK technology is the bottom line. So I think UK India as a opportunity corridor, if you look at, UK is very well placed to support India's growth within the automotive sector with new technologies and development, and marrying India's cost advantage and looking at the global horizon makes a perfect sense and a good partnership model.
UK is surrounded by so many universities, and design is the main strength for the UK. So if, and then normally when it's design, and then the further part is the drafting part of it. So drafting requires a huge number of people, manpower, which is kind of expensive in the UK. So that thing can be developed here in India. Drawing release and control will be with the UK, but all the drafting work can be done here in India. Second biggest thing is we in automotive, typically in automotive, we require the surface treatment technologies. And some of them are now with this free trade agreement what we have, some of them are not available in India, but we can liaison with UK to get it done maybe from Holland. One. Second thing, the biggest factor what we require nowadays with the surface treatment is nickel. Nickel is, as we know, controlled by UK. So those kind of surface treatment where nickel is prominently used, we can be collaborated with UK and India.
What Vibhas is saying is so true, that the concept is coming from England. Obviously, as Avinish has said, that it has a great history. Automotive industry has grown there right from beginning of the entire automotive industry itself. So obviously the design coming from England is a very, very natural consequence and very, very obvious thing to happen. And we see that as my group, Otter Group, is a specialist group in manufacturing thermal biometallic cutouts required for protecting automotive DC motors. And they are specialist and probably one of the first one to build in the manufacture of this product since 1946. Obviously they had the best technology, and that technology was shared when we created this joint venture. So sharing that technology helped us to make that product grow much bigger and go reach out all the automotive industry all across the globe. From Otter India, which probably was a great success story, to reach to Japan, to all over Asia, also to Europe. And because of, as Vibhas said, that it is a cost advantage factor, it is a language factor, it is a technology factor, everything really worked in the best interest of both the economies.
Okay. Yogesh, you have a, dual exposure on both sides. I want you to highlight on one, the supply chain opportunities, and what specific areas in mobility you see. It could even be focused on some specific areas that you are connected with, like connected technologies. Can you please elaborate?
Yeah, I think I'll go with the trend, right? Globally, the trends are case we say connected, autonomous, shared or subscribe, and E for electric, right? So going with the electric and connected is a major trend where India is thriving based on the market as well. And then we do see in the electric sector, it's not just the battery technology where I was helping e-tron, but also beyond that now the battery recycling is really the good area where this kind of that tech will help India to bring the sustainable technologies, not just for India, again for globally, right? And then the next one is in the connected and the software defined vehicle area where there's a lot of research base is there, a lot of AI data companies out there in UK, whereas we need those tech to again roll out that or develop that to the Indian market or to the very specific markets where we can use those technologies and do the global rollout as well. So there's a kind of a getting that niche on the road is what India can bring onto the table. That's what I can say.
Okay.
I can add something to what
Sure.
Yogesh was saying. Is that it reminds me that nowadays with the all this industry 4.0 coming in picture with all kinds of data capturing and all those things, so it requires a special hardware and it's used worldwide. That is by NI, that is National Instruments, and it's supported by a software called LabVIEW. Here is the biggest opportunity I sense right now because currently we are in need. And if we collaborate, someone from UK can collaborate with us, I think we have ready-made business available here.
Okay, that's a good summary. There are a lot of interwoven relationships between UK and India traditionally, both from a cultural perspective and from business. In terms of the potential, what is holding back, especially from a mobility perspective, what is holding back? What are the areas that could have an impact on the smooth business relationship between both countries? I mean, I want to really highlight from your perspective, what are the issues? Vibhas, you want to like to go first?
So, the things which I faced when we started in India is that the time taken for the making a decision. Like for example, when we were looking for we started in rented facility, and then we were looking for a land to build our own factory because Helical didn't have any plant outside UK. So to time taken to convince, and because that was always linked with the business case, and that assurance or that guarantee was not there whether we will succeed in India or not, because it takes a lot of a time to really build up the trust in the individual, in the business, in the market, and the geographical location.
Okay.
So that's how I look at it.
Okay. Avinish.
The people to people connect, the cultural connect is fantastic. It's probably one of the deepest cultural relationship I can say between UK and India. As far as the sector is concerned, there are a lot of challenges, and one of the biggest challenge I foresee is commitment and long-term investment toward looking at India. UK has its traditional markets, but those traditional markets are also facing challenges. So for UK companies, UK operators, technology providers to look at newer geographies, India is one of the most shining stars. And for UK companies to succeed in India, either directly or in partnerships, require long-term commitment. And as Vibhas said, trust. And those things can only be developed by investing not just financially, but also in terms of commitment towards the Indian market. And I believe that will make a lot of difference. The other element which I would also like to highlight is from a UK company's perspective, doing business in India can sometimes be challenging. But I firmly believe that the policy direction as far as India is concerned is very clearly liberalizing, but also with the free trade agreement, I foresee that some of those challenges will get diminished over a period of time. So I believe that it's a new start between the two relationships, between the two countries, but also within the sector, I foresee a huge unlocking of potential going forward from the FTA.
Okay, that's good. Joshi.
I mean, I have something to straight away jump on what Avinish is saying, that we have culturally quite aligned with each other. I have a totally different experience from the context of difficulties or having any issues. In fact, our relationship, as both of Avinish as well as Vibhas is saying, that it's trust-based, and trust is a very, very important aspect of it. In our case, we had that built because our relationship much dated back before we started actual manufacturing in India as a joint venture business. So trust if you have, and if they have this commitment, which in our case is quite strong because we started in 2013 and we have been seeing there is a lot of change in overall policies of our government also, and that is probably helping us to expedite all the actions and investments and the growth aspects. The real challenges, if at all, if there are any, they are not really people to people. People to people, we have excellent relationships. Yes, yes. In fact, Otter in UK is a family run business. There are even Vibhas company is a family run business. And that is what India is essentially a family driven, family economy kind of situation. And it matches in a way. The challenges are essentially about the infrastructural facilities that India must be providing more, in terms of the road facilities, in terms of transportation facilities, in terms of all the electricity and all the facilities required for industry must be strengthened much more, which we hope in times to come that will be coming and more industries will come in, and probably that will be the impetus to growth.
Okay. And I in this between, I also must admire and appreciate is that the decision-making time which I referred to, that is initially.
Yes.
But still you develop the trust.
Yeah.
Because trust cannot be developed overnight. So it takes a time. It depends on the way you interact. There are mutual interactions and all those things there. And that what Ulhas was pointing out, the family. Because India is whole, the concept is we are family kind of a culture here. And that gels very well with the UK.
Yes.
And once that is done, then there is no time. Then everything goes smoothly after that.
I think the other gentlemen have really covered a broader aspects in terms of the speed, decision making, the people connect and so on. I'll probably take some examples on the technology companies because that's where my experience has been. So most of the technologies companies look India as a more sales or the market just to capture the business. But then when I experience it, the Indian ecosystem in terms of some of the tech is also advancing at a good space, right? So the delta between them, what UK will bring and what India needs is there is some delta. And then Indian companies are wanting to localize those solutions nowadays, okay, because they have that aspiration and they see that they can localize it a more cost-effective way and then help export globally as well. So that adapting that tech for the local needs, okay, and that the pace at which the Indian OEMs want is a gap overall, and then that's where I see that the ecosystem is already there, but UK companies should not look at it as a purely sell kind of a driven business, and then many of the time, as he said, there has to be long-term commitment where then you invest in co-creating that kind of a local products, and nowadays the tech is becoming a more flat, so it's not like earlier 10 years back the tech which are required by Indians companies versus the global companies was big delta, but now whatever the requirements from the Indian automotive OEM is the same across the globe, right? So whatever you are building it for local Indian companies, that can be rolled out globally as well. So there is a good kind of a shift back can happen for UK companies.
Yogesh, thanks for that. I like the word you use, shift. From what I gather from all of you, that is the gap delta that you are pointing out has been changing, has been shifting. So the problems which are there 10 years ago have moved to a slightly different position now. And probably there is no better opportunity than now, after the FTA signing and a number of UK companies flourishing in Indian market. It presents quite a different perspective for any new entrant from UK looking at India right now. So we are at a very interesting point where I was trying to identify what role your organizations could play as in a situation where potential partnerships between India and UK come to forth, and how could you support? It could be from specifically from a technology point of view or decision making point of view or even knowledge hub point of view. I mean, is there anything that you can throw onto the table?
To add, UK government's Department of Business and Trade has been working in the Indian market for a while. Our core remit is actually to get as many as possible new to market companies, expose them to the Indian market so that they understand what the opportunities are. And we will continue to do that in future also. But what we are trying to do in a different way is try and recruit companies which are more tech rich. Technology in the sector is changing very, very rapidly. And once we get those tech rich companies, how can we provide the more touch points in India with potential partners, stakeholders? For example, we are working very closely with ACMA, which is the Automotive Component Manufacturers Association. We are working very closely with the startup ecosystems back in the UK, but also in India, trying to get those companies to not just look at the Indian market, but also find the right partners. I think one of the good examples, if you can look, is the success is that these two gentlemen represents those companies. And these companies are again, how a company which started few years back with almost zero turnover is now doing millions and pounds of business in India. So I think it again revolves around to looking at the opportunities in a more deeper fashion, but also investing in the long term.
Okay. Vibhas, you want to take on that?
Yeah, I can build upon that further. Is that now we are just a 100% fully owned subsidiary by Helical UK. So I can certainly comment on the things which I have experienced over the period, right from the inception, incorporation of the factory starting from zero to what we are as of date. So certainly I can help out in that faction. Secondly, purely from the automotive point of view, the supply chain, because we initially started from nothing, we getting imported goods, all the parts imported, then developing the full supply chain in India. So I can certainly contribute in guiding or helping the new British UK companies wanted to establish in India, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, same here that we are a joint venture company, and so when we decided to set up a manufacturing in India, there were a couple of very important decisions that we took. First of all, that we will never do business at the cost of losing any jobs in the UK.
Yeah.
And we will also build all new markets and new products that will be developed in India on the technology which is built in UK.
Yes.
Now, having said this, I will say that if somebody wants to really come into India to set up a joint venture company, there are a couple of things which we must be very careful about. And number one is that we must be completely transparent, very, very honest to the core to our partners. That is probably, it is almost like a relationship of a wedding relationship. We must be completely open, transparent and absolutely honest. If there are any difficulties, you must immediately talk about your difficulties, and I'm sure the first clause is the least clause basis principle. Yes. You get the best advice from them. You get everything to sort out the difficulties that you have in India. And then the relationship, then over a period, trust is built. When we started, we were really very, very small. It's a joint venture company with only 10 people we started. Today, we are about 1,000 people. We are expanding rapidly. It's only because we have complete understanding. It's not that every day is a great day. There are difficulties, there are troubled times, there are going to be difficulties which need to be sorted out together. And that togetherism is what really makes a joint venture continue to grow and make it a success. Good. That's what I think is very important for the newcomers to understand. Be honest, be transparent, and be completely open for accepting all the new whatever suggestions that come to you. That's the thing.
Yogesh, your take on that?
I think it's easiest to say that that's whatever the question you have asked and this gentleman explained is exactly the reason why Tech for Earth Mobility has been founded, okay? Because we've seen that over the period, the UK technology companies or innovations and getting rolled out in India has a lot of issues, as we said, and a lot of long-term commitment and that matchmaking where you need to have a both Kundli matching for technical aspect and the commercial or the business aspect, because India is quite different in that aspect, and then the UK companies don't understand that both the technical adaptability and the commercial long-term commitment, right? And that's where we bring those startup ecosystem, we bring those R&D institutions, we bring even the policy aspect on the table, or including the examples like Ulhas and Vibhas, where they have got an experience where they can give real life examples to these new UK companies, how they should bring up the partnership, with whom they should connect, how they should roll out both the technical kind of a licensing game or joint venture or partnership, how the business model need to be shaped in India, because it's quite different than what you do in the rest of the world. And I do see that bringing the experience ecosystem for UK companies here in India, not just to enter, but also help them establish and scale it up. It's where exactly I would say Tech for Earth Mobility is well poised to help them.
Okay. I will also say that the another two aspects which are very, very important for a joint venture to become successful. First is, of course, discipline, but consistency in your entire venture is very important. Today you say something, then you have to pursue that thing. So if you have to really dream something, you have to work on that dream, and only then it will really become bigger, better and brighter. And for that, discipline is one of the most important thing British partners expect you to have. And if you are not having discipline, if you do not have consistency, your chances of becoming a good joint venture company are not really strong.
Thank you to our incredible guests who have contributed to the episode 1 I'm really thrilled today to actually be part of this process. We have seen India-UK mobility sector is not just an opportunity, it's a game changer. And we're going to see more of that in the next episode, which is titled Vision 2030, UK-India Mobility Collaboration. Thank you for watching. Are we going to see more UK luxury cars coming to Indian market? What is DBT focused on in India in the next 5 years, and what can be achieved in this period? Helical has worked with India, I mean, as a group has looked at India, but you have multiple global locations as well. So what is your significant vantage point for India in the next 5 years? What areas should the overseas companies, especially from a UK context here, should be looking at in India in terms of technologies, areas, or specific interventions in terms of support that can come from UK? Yeah, I think that's my next point, which Yogesh touched upon, as using India market as a test bed for innovation. I want to ask Avinish, do you see more UK companies would be open in 2025 to look at opportunities